Still okay, hear it.
You can hear it, huh?
Uh-huh.
You can hear me, and
Yes.
what do you what do you think about it?
It's great. I like it. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
this is
Yes.
kind of neat. Like I said, this is like my first time doing it, where I'm I'm mobile. Like I said, because like I've only been inside my room, so now that here, like I think I like it. It's a pretty big room.
Yes,
Like
it's high.
it's high,
Yeah.
definitely high.
Uh-huh.
So how are you, Grandma?
I'm okay, mijo. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How was your trip
It was okay. It was a bit of a drive. Um,
with the traffic?
I think it's a kind of tough when like you're cooped up in a metal box
Uh-huh. And then you
and
come out.
you come up, but it's like you're with other people, and you know your emotions, whatever you're going through with, and what other people are going through. It's like you kind of all those feelings and emotions are like being trapped inside this metal box for like 2 hours, right?
Uh,
So it makes people antsy, and then like there's like heat in a sense, like and I don't know. I feel like whenever like you're I don't know, giving people directions. It's like, why don't you go this way?
oh.
It's a little tough if that
Uh-huh.
makes sense. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
So uh, I don't know. Really, I don't have any questions for you. We just start talking.
We just start talking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it didn't really pour on you when you
Yeah.
all coming because I was afraid it was gonna be bad with the big thunderstorms. But
Yeah.
no, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
I
God.
don't. Is it supposed to rain all week or how?
I'm not really sure
Yeah.
since I don't really see news. I don't see too much of the news lately.
Really.
No, I just sometimes see what I see on Facebook or
Mhm.
on TV on the on the cell. That's about it. I don't, lately don't been. It's been months. Polly tells me you gotta go see TV.
Mhm.
So slowly, I've been kind of think I'm gonna watch TV for a while, but
Mhm.
I got other things to do.
Like what?
Like I move my room around and
Mhm.
then I dig into my drawers and
Yeah.
then I stop writing and then I found this. I love pencils, I love pens, and I
Mhm.
love paper.
Paper.
Yeah, so I like
So
to.
you write often?
I don't have no one to really write to, but I just write things for myself,
What do you write?
like recipes and maybe a little bit point here and there. I like little points,
Mm.
so I've always liked to write.
I recently started writing more. Like I started doing like journaling,
Oh
kind
yeah.
of like in a way. Not like I don't have a diary or anything like that, but I I uh I started like kind of like I wouldn't say affirmations, but it's like I like stories.
Oh.
I really like stories, and so like try to start writing like my own, like I don't know, like movie ideas and stuff, like poetry, and there's another one,
Oh
like
yes.
poetry
Mhm.
is nice.
Mhm.
And I don't know, like what do you think you're good at writing?
Oh what?
Do you think you're good at writing?
Not that good, but just writing. I mean, just people sometimes when I go sign my name and they say, "Oh, that's your name." I like a lot of people don't sign that way.
Mm.
To me it's crooked,
Yeah.
but to other people it seems like, "Oh, I like your writing,
Mhm.
your handwrite."
Your handwriting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, I don't know."
Mhm.
I don't know why, but I like to write. I just like any little thing. I just like to get a pencil, a pen, or even Mijo brings me little, little, how do you say, little composition books or
Oh, okay.
anything he finds like that. Here, mom, that's for you, because he knows I
Notepads.
like to
Yeah.
just jot down anything, just whatever I can.
Yeah.
Just earlier, I was looking at a recipe and said, "Oh, let me take it down."
Mm.
So I just write it down.
Yeah.
But I like writing. I don't know why.
I think it's important for I think it's important for your mental. Like I get a lot of my like thoughts and like there's a lot of stuff that I write that like will never see the light of day.
Uh
Like
huh.
no one's ever gonna read what I write. But like I now that it's like on paper, it's not in my head. It's not in there anymore, and it's like on something else. Like it's kind of like I don't know, letting it go in a sense. Like,
Mhm.
and what I mean by when I ask like how are you good at writing, like when you write, how have you do you write for yourself, right? And
Mhm.
and and do you think like maybe one day somebody reads it and will they understand? Like what is a good way of like I don't know, I guess getting your whatever thoughts you have in your head to the paper. Like what is that process for you?
Well, I just write down, and like sometimes what comes to my mind, and
Mm.
then I go back and I say, oh, this is what I said. This is what my mind said.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's not really me, just what my mind said. It's telling me this, So I just kind of write it down. Long, long time ago, well, many, many years ago, I
Mhm.
used to like to write like songs,
Mhm.
and you have to kind of say, okay, I like this song, but to the music and find the words. You have to find words to match, or to say, okay, this word goes with this word. It's just things that come to my mind.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that passed away a long time ago, and she said, how did you learn to write like that? I said, no, no, no. It's just things that I write because my mind tells me.
Mm.
Okay, it's just, and that's the way I am.
No, I get you. And
I don't talk too much. I don't talk too much, but then when I'm by myself, it's like, okay, this is what my mind's telling me, and it just comes down.
mm,
You
I
know?
get you. Yeah, cuz like sometimes when I'm right and like I have an idea, like half of the shit I write is so bad. Like I had like it's horrible, but I take that and I never really understood like I don't know like in school when you're taught like okay there's the editing process and then the revision process of writing and like the rough draft and then there's the final copy. Well, it's like that rough draft writing is what I'm doing all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think that is your rough draft supposed to be very bad, and for me like I guess like in my experiences like that's how I write all the time is in that rough draft stage, and I get very discouraged sometimes where it's like oh like my writing's bad, I'm horrible, but then like I tend to forget that oh like I can go back and I can rework whatever I'm writing, what I'm saying. You can make your notes pretty, your recipes look good, what I'm saying. I don't know how are you with writing recipes?
How was I writing my recipes?
Yeah, like how do you do it? Like what is
Oh, no,
your
no, because I could take
process?
it down, like say, okay, I see this recipe on Facebook, and I say, okay, let me take that recipe down, and then I just write it down. I have a
Mm.
book, I have a notebook where I like try to keep them there,
Yeah.
so um, I just make sure that I have them right, because if you don't have the right recipe, you're not gonna make a good cake or a good cookie.
Yeah. And do you write your like own like your own dishes like cuz I know your special meatloaf.
No, not really. That comes from my head. That just
Yeah.
kind of put it in there, and I don't really, it's not. I know you're supposed to weight everything. You're supposed to, spoons, teaspoons, and all that. Yeah, but sometimes no. It's just like in the Mexican food, you just say,
You
okay,
just do
échale
it.
esto y en this and that, and yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I don't cook a lot American food. But I do love meatloaf because my kids used to love meatloaf. They always love meatloaf.
That's like my favorite dish you ever
Yeah, meatloaf.
like at the minute I fell in love with that. The minute it's like you can feel it's so crazy how you can feel love inside of food.
Uh-huh.
Like you can like like how they say like oh this dish was made with love and stuff like that. It's like it's whatever, you laugh at it, but then you really taste it and it's like oh shit, like it really was like this is crazy.
But you know that, I mean, you can make foods and then they don't taste the same.
Mm.
Like my Chris over there in Los Angeles, he says, "Mom, I ordered mole, but doesn't taste like yours." Well, my mole
Yeah.
is not from scratch,
Yeah.
really. My mole is just, I tell my friends it's one of those, just put it in there, yeah,
Mm.
you know. But it's just different,
Yeah.
still different,
No, yeah,
something,
there's nobody's pozole tastes like my grandma's pozole.
right?
Like nobody's enchiladas taste like my mom's. Like
Mm-hmm.
and like it's weird like I'll be if I'm like in another state or I'm like in another city and I eat the same food there, it's kind of crazy how like it brings you back. But I think what else is even crazier is like when you go to somewhere and you try a dish and it tastes
The same, but not quite,
almost the same, but not quite.
but
But
not
it's
quite.
like, holy shit, it just brought me back like many years. Like like I'll tell you a story. So like when I went to Zacatecas for a few days, and I was like feeling like horribly, horribly homesick, and I was really sick. I was really depressed. I just wanted to go back
Oh,
home. You
oh,
know, like I was tired of being there. And we went down, and they had like a big old buffet,
oh yes.
and they had many dishes and whatnot. But the dish I remember the most was they had this green pipián,
Oh,
and the minute I ate it, it was so crazy because it tasted just like my grandma's pipián,
uh,
and it brought me way back. And then for the rest of the trip, I was happy.
that's good.
And it's so crazy how that works. Like
Yes,
I don't
yes.
know, like you know, when you eat food, it like what chemical like reacts when you eat it inside your head. It's a weird thing.
He says, "Oh, this is like my grandma or my aunt or whoever does that dish, right?"
Mhm.
And you remember that person even if it's been years back,
Yeah.
because that the person has a touch.
Mhm.
Everybody has a touch to whatever you do.
Mhm.
So no matter what, it can be the same recipe, it can be the same thing, but it doesn't taste the same.
Yeah. It's like a even there's a, it's a the senses are so weird. You know, a sound, a song you hear, a smell. You know, what are all the other senses? Touch, taste, smell, sight.
See,
You see something that like you remember of. I don't know. It's weird. Like I'm pretty sure, you know, in your experience of life, like what the senses are. Like what do you think they are? Like what is your like when you think of the senses, the five senses? Like what do you think of?
well, it's yeah, like you say, you smell beautiful
Mm.
food. I mean, not beautiful, but beautiful flowers, or you smell good food,
Mhm.
or somebody smells good.
Yeah.
Then you look at things like, you know, we see different things. You might be seeing the same thing, but it's different to you and to me,
Yeah.
you know, and the taste, well, the taste too, because we can taste like good things and sometimes they're not so good, but
Yeah.
okay. But that's all I can say right now. I mean,
No, I get you. I get
the
you.
hearing, I mean, you know, you hear things, or
Yeah.
sometimes, especially, I like to hear the birds. I like to sit by the window, and
Mhm.
I've always tell every time I go to a restaurant, I like to sit by the window
Mm.
because I like to see out there. Like the other day, I was looking out through my window,
Mm.
and I could see all these people, but there weren't really people out there. But I could imagine people going by.
Mm.
So
Like it it's so crazy like what your like imagination can do like it's
yes,
imagination is so I think that's the most like incredible thing that humans can do is like imagine things,
hmm,
you know, and it's like that's I guess like that's where I guess this comes from writing, you know. It's like you imagine what you're gonna say and then you put it on paper, you imagine what you're about to say to somebody, you know, and it's just a crazy thing.
yeah, like exactly. Like I say, I was looking through my window, and I said, "Oh, look at all that." But see, my window was like right here, but then you could see the people further down.
Mhm.
So it was just people. I don't know people. I didn't know the people, but I could see them coming and going, and
Mm.
little kids running around. And I said, "Oh my God!" I
Mm.
mean, I know they're not there, but I could see them.
Mm.
So that was beautiful in a way, because it's sometimes you see things and you say, "Oh, you know, that's the way it is." You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people say, "Ah, that's not true," but there, yeah, you can see.
Mhm.
You, I don't know if it's your imagination, but it's there.
Yeah.
You can see things, you know, and you say, "Oh, how beautiful." I love kids, so every time when I see things, I see kids.
Mm.
So look, and that's como te digo, I was looking out the window and I said, but no, and then I realized, no, this is just a street. It's a
Yeah.
street, but I could see further down, you
Hmm.
know.
That's so it's weird. It's a weird thing. It really is
Mm-hmm.
weird.
I could
And
see them.
well, 'cause so when you're out in public, like, do you say hi to people?
Yes, especially like, well, like sometimes you say good morning or hi, or
Mhm.
I know that a lot of times it feels bad when somebody just looks at you and or just a smile.
Mm.
You mean it's like I say, like I was going through so much lately in the last months, and
Mhm.
even just a word to say, "How are you?" makes you feel like, "Oh my God, I just got out of this mountain."
Mm.
To me, it was like, "How are you?" That's all. That's all.
Yeah. I I I've tried. I'm trying to practice that more and more as I'm going through whatever like this is. Like life is insane, And I noticed that whenever I say that to people, and especially young people, people like my age and whatever in that area, they get like fucking shocked. Like they're like, whoa, what? Like you're saying how? Like you're asking me how I am? Like what? Like I try to tell my friends and people like that, like you should start doing that more often.
Yes, because I don't know. I mean, just to me, I know, like you go and you smile at somebody. At least
Mm-hmm.
smile. You don't have to say nothing. Like I walked into church earlier, and I don't know some people there, and I just smile and they say, "Well, hi," it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just walk through somebody like, "Oh my God," it's just something there. No, you can't do that. I mean, at least I can't. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
smile at least, and I mean, eye contact tells you all. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like, okay, yeah, well, I know she's having a bad time. Oh, well, she's feeling, sick, or oh, she's feeling happy.
Mm-hmm.
So your eye contact tells a lot.
Really, yeah. And like I feel like for the longest, like I hated eye contact. Like it's so scary, like and like that in itself is scary. Just looking at somebody. I feel like for some people,
Yeah.
but I think the words of saying hi, how are you?
Hmm.
I think some people even find that scary in itself too, and I don't know why. Like
No, I don't think it should. I mean, I really don't think it should because,
mm,
like I say, I mean, like when I had my job and I had this girl,
mm,
and she would always say, "Hey," and I would say, "No, I'm sorry, you don't know my people's." She was like a substitute would come in once in a while, and I would tell her, "I'm sorry, but you don't tell my people, hey. I know you don't know their names.
mm,
I know you don't know them, but you say Miss
or excuse me,
or
sir. Yeah.
or something like that, but you don't say hey."
Mm,
And then same thing in the morning. You walk into the door, at least say good morning,
mm-hmm.
and then makes everybody happy. That,
Mm-hmm.
and then makes you happy to walk into a place where you can do your job.
Yeah.
Because I mean, thank God that we were awoken.
Yeah.
We're awake. So it's a good morning.
And it's very, very easy to overlook just being able to wake up.
Hmm.
It's very easy. I mean, even myself, I did it because, like, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to work today, or I gotta go do this, and like, I got a billion things I need to do today. And I don't even, like, take the smallest minute to be like, oh, shit, I woke up today.
You didn't even get to do half of the things, right?
And then I didn't even do half of the things.
Yes,
I didn't do
yes.
anything.
Time goes
Yeah.
by fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's one thing that even like, okay, well, yeah, I got woke me up today. I got to get up. I got to go to work. And even if I don't want to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
so I put in 30 years and I was happy. I tell my boys if I could go to work right now, I would go to work.
Mm.
But I know that nobody will hire me at my age.
What did you do?
I was a cafeteria worker,
Hmm.
feeding the kids.
What was that like?
It was beautiful because I would see the little kids come in, like the 3 and 4 year olds.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I worked through elementary, then middle school and
Mm-hmm.
high school, and so. But I love working more in elementaries because of the little kids,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see the little faces. In the years that I started, you would ask them what they wanted, and some of those little kids would say, "Dad, what? This one? No, Dad." They kept saying, "Well, this one?
Mm-hmm.
No," until we had to give them what they wanted, and
Yeah.
that was just so I want to know what they want, what they want, and
Speak to me.
this one, they were so hungry, I guess,
Yeah.
that they were all like, But I enjoy my job. I
Well,
miss it.
I think about if I go back and I think about just the act of going to lunch, sitting at the table with your friends. It's like it's like a pre-recess.
Uh-huh.
That like okay, we're pre-gaming for the recess. It's like we're gonna talk. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play tag. This is we're planning for what's gonna happen outside. and and I remember like for the longest like it was weird because like there was lunch ladies that like I loved. I love these lunch ladies, I was like I knew them personally and not personally, but like I knew them
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like I
but you
always
were
came
there
to
every
them. I
day.
was there every
Yeah,
day,
right,
obviously,
every day.
and I just remember some were just like mean. Some of them were like mean. I don't know. Do you ever encounter like mean lunch ladies?
Yeah, sometimes I would like. That's what I kept telling one of my ladies. I
Mm.
said, maybe this is not the kind of job for you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you need to go do something else
Mhm.
because to be able to work here, you have to love the children. You have to think about your own kids.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, you wouldn't want to see, somebody come and get ugly to your kid. That
Yeah.
same way we can't do that to the kids here.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But there are some ladies, yeah, there are some ladies, and even then, see, I retired and I went back, and then some of the ladies that I knew said, "You went back?"
Mm.
I go, "Yes." Oh no, I will not go back for even if they pay me more. See, well,
That's
you,
not the point.
you don't need to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
You
reason
don't
you're
need
not.
to go back because
Mm.
that's not what you want.
Mhm.
So that's why I was happy the 3 years back that I went. I was happy, and I still could go back if I could go. But no, I know I can't go back.
I bet they were serving good food when you were,
Well, we had all kinds of food. The food times, the way, like I say, 30 years back was very different. Then it started changing, and then at the last, well, they would take the food to the breakfast to the kitchen to the kids' rooms,
Mhm.
and so they could have a breakfast, and then they would take lunches sometimes,
Yeah.
depending on the kids. So, but
I remember being in school and they fed us bricks. Like, like they got rid of a lot of things as I kept going through the years. Like I remember they had like these like frozen strawberry cups and
hmm
like they were amazing, but I think they had found like maggots in them or something like
oh my
that. That was a
God.
story. And then we didn't have strawberry cups ever, like for this frozen strawberry cups. So we had strawberry milk. They
Oh
got rid of
yes, yes,
that.
yes, yes, yes.
Gone. Like all
Yeah.
our the sweet things weren't sweet anymore. They were just like
Yeah, well,
you're eating
they
cardboard.
changed a lot. I mean, the menus were very different.
Mhm.
I mean, like the last years that I was there, they
Mhm.
were, different, very different. There no salt, no sugar, no. The kids would love to come eat the breakfast in the morning because they were like frosted flakes and all that. But then later on, they didn't have no sugar, so they didn't want
Yeah.
to come to breakfast.
Oh my God! Like there was like less and less salt as the years went on. It was crazy. Like why?
But well, I mean, but I don't know now how it is. I mean,
I have no idea either.
but they had a lot of in the mornings they would bring us a lot of well, not in the morning, in the afternoon they would bring us the apples and the bananas and all the fruit that we had to give them more fruit, you
Yeah.
know and so they changed, but like I say, I just did my job and I just went along with the kids and
Mhm.
like to play with them. They would always, "Oh, you're the lunch lady I saw over there,"
Mhm.
and you get happy because the child remembers you,
Mhm.
But when you're like a little bit mean, they're scared of you.
Oh, they remember you.
Yeah, they
They
scare
definitely
you.
remember
I
you.
don't want
But
to talk to that
yeah,
lady,
no, yeah.
But it's always nice to go somewhere and it's, "Oh, the lunch lady." Sometimes they knew my name, sometimes they didn't, but
Mhm.
they say, "Oh, the lunch lady, you're the lunch lady." So they were happy to see you, but
Mhm.
then the ones that you were, I don't know. I mean, just you're scared, like you say, they get scared.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember like it was so easy. Like the minute I had a bad taste of like somebody or something, like I avoided it at all costs. It's like I would be in line. And it's like, oh shit, it's that lady. So I go to another line, even though they weren't selling the same food. I was like, screw it. I just don't want to have that interaction with
Yeah,
that
with
person.
that person, right? Right.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really crazy. Like the system, how that works.
Yeah. But no, well, like I say, I know now I've been away for a couple of years. Well,
Mhm.
I don't know what I remember anyway. Like maybe 2018 was my last time, and
Yeah.
2015 somewhere around there. But I retired and then I went back. I went back 3 more years, and
Mhm.
then that was it. So the reason I retired, because I had to retire to stay home with my husband. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I still remember the kids. I still that's what I guess looking through that window was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I see those kids playing over there, but there are no
Yeah.
kids over there. It was just me. It was just my vision was just straight over there.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's very and I don't know how what it if you in children, what is the difference you see in them, like the kids now and kids back then? Like what are some differences you see?
Well, I don't know the difference now. Maybe I don't know, but like when on years back. The first thing, like I said, the respect.
Mm.
You know, the children start growing up to respect. It's what helps. But if the parents sometimes don't tell them, you have to respect, it goes the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I say, I've known some people say, "Oh well, I can say anything I want to because this and this and that." No,
Oh my God,
no, no, you
yeah.
don't
Like
do that.
I grew up with some mean people. People were mean.
No, you know, and so we have to. But we, the parents, are the ones that have to say, "That's not right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say that, or you don't do that, or
Yeah.
I've seen people sometimes they come and they don't even say hello. They don't even say hello. They just look at you like, "Who are you?"
Mm-hmm.
And when
Mm.
you tell the child, this is so and so, you don't
Mm-hmm.
say hello, or this is my friend, you say hello. They
Mm-hmm.
learn to do that.
Yeah.
They learn to say, okay, I have to say hello.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that makes a lot of difference. Parents are so, not all of them, but most of them, they're so doing their own things that maybe they don't have too much time to tell the child. I know that I had a lady telling me, but I get tired of telling him the same thing. I said, well, that's why you have to keep on saying it and saying it. I don't care how
Mm-hmm.
many times you say it, because the child's gonna say, "Oh, I can get away with it anyway," you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, I,
Oh yeah.
So and sometimes you say, even if it hurts, no, you can't. You can't. You have to do this. You have to go as much as straight as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But respect is the first thing you have to learn.
Respect.
The respect that you have for whether it's a young person or whether it's an older. Of course, the older people, well, you will have to respect them more. But
Mm-hmm.
even if it's a young person,
Yeah.
you still have to respect. So I think that's a lot of difference now. They don't have the time to talk to them. They don't have the time to gather them. And I know enough people that they don't sit together. They don't join together. They
Oh
don't.
yeah. No.
They I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes we're busy. I
Yeah.
worked a lot of years, but I would always keep them together. You know, come.
And
That's what.
I don't think it's they're busy or they don't have time to. I think it's just like time management. And I don't even think it's a time thing because like if you really, if that really concerned you, you'd really put time into it, just like
Well,
how
you
you
have to.
saying.
You have to have time.
And I don't know, it's very hard. I guess I mean parents being a parent for the first time, like you don't know anything.
Right.
So like what is your advice for like a new parent?
Well, I mean, like I said, I had my first child, and of course, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know a lot of things, and then
Mhm.
you learn. So then I had my second child. I said, well, I'm gonna try this, better to be
Mhm.
better for this child.
Yeah.
Like I said, when my first one was little,
Mhm.
I would put everything in a little plate to give him everything for him to eat. I thought that in putting every little thing in one little bowl or little plate, he would eat more.
Mhm.
But that was not the case. It was just that he would eat what he wanted to, just enough to what he wanted.
Mhm.
Then the second child came. I said, "Oh no, everything goes on his plate," because I learned that maybe that was not the right way to teach the first child.
Mhm.
Because the doctor said, "No, don't force him to eat.
Mhm.
He'll eat if he's hungry." So I learned that.
Mhm.
Okay, the doctor tells me not to force him, so I'm not gonna force him. So then I said the other one I would just put two little things that I put on the plate, and that was it. Now he eats that, fine. If he doesn't eat it, okay.
Mhm.
So you learn to do the things,
Trial and
to,
error.
yeah, little by little. Oh
Yeah.
well, I didn't do this, or I didn't do it right. I did it right, and I'm gonna do it better here. And
Mhm.
so those are the things. Sometimes it was hard for me because with the other two, I didn't go to work outside of my home. I
Mhm.
did work inside of my home because I would do cakes for weddings and debuts and birthdays and all that. So that's what I would do before I went to my regular job.
Mhm.
But once I started to go to school, then I went to work. So not knowing that my other third one was gonna come.
Mhm.
So when he came, it was hard for me because I said I spend, like they say, 24 hours with these two kids when I had to leave this kid in nursery
Mhm.
so that I could go to work.
Mhm.
But they're all three good. Well, like I say, I think that they learn to respect and to do the right things.
Mhm.
But I try to spending time with them.
Can I ask you This one might be a weird one, but like, how did you go about like discipline?
Well, that was one thing. On my first child, they would visit me and they kept saying, "What is that? What is that poster board? How come you have all those little stars in there?" I said, "Oh, because I have to try to help my child to do his homework right, and you can go out and you have to take out the trash, give you a star." So then the other one, when he was growing up, it was the same thing. I had a poster on the wall, and you did your homework, 1 star.
Mm.
You did you took out the trash, 1 star. So little things like that.
Wow, you did the.
I,
I never had stars, man. I
yeah,
would.
that people would say, "What is that?" I had it over there.
uh,
What is that with all those little stars?
uh,
I say, well, yeah, one it belongs to a little star, and for
yeah.
every little thing they did, they had a star,
Mm.
and so they would count the stars. Oh, I got so many stars. Okay, well, you can do better if you do another thing and another thing, and that's. And then I would tell them, okay, well, we can go to McDonald's because y'all didn't do this right, or you have to do your homework, or whatever it is. That's the
Mhm.
way that I try to help them
Mhm.
to learn that they have to do.
Yeah.
You know. So it was mostly like, no, no McDonald's. And of course, you want to go to McDonald's.
Right.
The last child, my third child, he was not too much for McDonald's. He was Burger King. So we would go to Burger King,
Yeah.
but it was the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I think what I'm getting is like rewarding good behavior.
Mm.
And what would you do for bad behavior?
Well, sometimes I mean it's like, okay, well, you didn't do it this right, but I mean I would never really punish him like punish. I mean, it was not like a punishment. It was just, well, you can get, something to eat. I mean,
Mm.
like, of course, like McDonald's. That's mostly because they love McDonald's. Or
Mm.
like I said, the real younger one was Burger King.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, to me, I never, I mean, I would never hit them like I see people hitting them or telling the dad, oh, well, he didn't listen. Go ahead and do this. No, no, I had to do it myself. And I had to say, okay, well, no, you didn't do what you were supposed to, but you're gonna have to not go.
What do you think about hitting?
No, I don't think that's right. I mean, not hitting. I mean, just I think rather just punish them and, well, I don't know now. Now it's a different. Now it's different. It's a different world. It's
Mm.
just very different. But I mean, just sitting down and talking to them, just trying to explain to them, what can cause and what cannot happen. And like I say, I know my kids. I told them, I know when y'all were growing up, I had to do this and this and this, and I'm sorry, but they say if it wouldn't have been for that, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing
Mm.
because you helped us to do. I said, well, yeah, but you helped yourself too,
Yeah.
right? Because you listen.
Because I feel like, well, it's like that's crazy because like you understand it, but I feel like there's many people out there that don't understand, like, and I think what it is like it's easy to do that. I feel like it's easy to hit kids
Mm-hmm.
because they're so tiny. They're just like, like you know, you, I was making a bad
Yeah.
joke, but like I think you know I don't know why it is easy, but it's easy, I think. And I think there's a I don't know how to word this, but I just feel like I don't know how I want to word this. This is a weird thing, but like you can't you don't really know. And I feel like in those generations prior, like beating and hitting, like that was like, I mean that was effective. I feel like 100% it's effective. But I think in the long term it has very like bad repercussions in the future. And I think is that probably why it's bad. Why do you think it's bad? Like what is your justification for it being bad?
Well, like when I was growing up, I mean, I was raised by my uncle,
Mm.
and he would kind of go over. If but I don't remember was doing like bad things, but it was still like I would hide under the bed, but he would grab me from under the bed. No, you're coming here and you're gonna get it.
Mm.
I didn't believe in that. I don't believe. I told myself when I get married, I have my kids. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna tell God not to help me to do that because I don't
Mm.
want to do that. So
Yeah.
I figured myself there were words, there was time, and other things that you could help. You know, to not do that. I mean, because even a little animal, a little kitty or a little doggy, you don't hit them. I mean, I wouldn't hit my doggies.
Mm.
I mean, I know it's not right to compare a little pet with with your child, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's you don't do that. You
And I it and well, the thing that I notice now is like there's a lot of rebellious like young kids, and I think it's because of like the amount of like technology. And I'm not trying to like say like technology is bad or anything like that, because it's crazy what it does. Like I could call you from here to Houston.
Mhm.
Oh, we're in San Antonio, by the way. Shout out San Antonio. But it's crazy how you're able to connect with people all across the world and whatnot. But what I see a lot these days is like these little kids, like from like babies to like they start as babies and they're already like on tablets. They're already on their
Mhm.
phones. They're
Mhm.
glued to the screen, and I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, if I was me, I don't think so. I don't really think that would be good for them so little.
Mm.
I mean, because they have a time. They have
Yeah.
their time when they can go because that's another thing too. It's like I say, sometimes I see people like, oh, the mama doesn't tell them what to do. The child tells the mama what to do.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes I don't agree with that.
Mm.
Because I'm the mama, you do what mama tells you. You
Mm.
do what daddy tells you. You don't tell daddy what to do. You don't
Mhm.
tell mama what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're tiny, big little kids, but of course, they're more intelligent because of all they see. But then, yet, it's still you have to respect your parents.
Mm.
That I mean, it's something like no, not for me. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
the parents tell them what to do, not the child.
And at what age did you stop doing the gold star chart?
Oh, they were like already like maybe in school already, maybe first, second grade.
Mm.
Yeah, but even then, it's still that would the older they get, they would have more, you know, things to do around the house.
Right.
These were just growing up like 4 or 5 years old. They knew
Mm.
that they had to. Oh yes, but then they had to do something to work, something to work. Like my youngest child, well, I gotta pick up cans, and I would save them all the cans, and they would
Mm.
go sell them because I need something to buy for school.
Mm.
I would help them, yes, of course, but then you have to learn that you have to be responsible.
Yeah.
A little responsible for. Oh yeah, I need it. Let's share it. Let's give me your little bit and my little bit, and then we buy it.
Mm.
So I really think that's why my son is so responsible.
Yeah.
Because they knew the responsibility. I didn't want to die and leave him on the street, like looking back and what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
What am I going to do without not knowing?
Yeah.
So once I started working at 16, they all started working. I said, oh God, I'm glad they're working because now they know responsibility. Now they
Yeah.
know that it's the world out there.
Oh my God, that's so crazy to hear that, because like I started working when I was like 15, 14. And then even before then I was doing like little
Yeah,
cutting
odd jobs.
grasses, selling little things. And then like I don't know, I find it crazy to like it's crazy to me when I hear people that are like barely getting their first jobs.
Oh.
And they're like, I'm like, how are you barely just starting to work? And then like you see how like I don't know, I see one thing very common is like criticism and being open to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that are not, and then when I understand that, it's like how do you not, how are you not open to criticism? And I think the reason is like work, like just getting out there to work. You mess up on a lot of things out there. Like if you're working at a, I don't know, a restaurant, you drop food or something, or trying to think of my work experiences and whatnot. But you mess up a lot on stuff.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, you grow up. That's the way you
Mm.
grow up. That's the way even us grown ups
Yeah.
we mess up. So, yes, it's true. You know, like my kids, they did little up jobs here and there, and
Mm.
sometimes one of them had to go to work and said, well, we can work, but we can really pay you because you can be on the payroll.
Mm.
Okay, but they learned that they had to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
So that's the responsibility. Like they say, they have to start learning even when they're little kids, 3, 4 years old. Put your toys away. Don't leave them there. Because
Yeah.
that's their toys. You have to know to put them away.
Mm.
And I had my kids, they would play with the toys and the back room. That was the room over there. They play. Okay, nighttime comes. Everybody starts putting their little toys away and get a shower and start getting ready, not to go to school because they weren't in school yet, but they would learn that. Then they had
Mm.
to learn to pick up your toys before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And nowadays is, oh yeah, just leave it there. Come on, let's go.
Or it's like figured out.
you know.
I feel like that was one thing that was like I kind of understand was like, hey, you figure it out on your own. And I feel like maybe I understand that idea, or like, figure it out, kind of teaching the kid, hey, you do it yourself, that's how you'll learn, by doing it yourself. But I also think that, like, sometimes you need to have like your handheld to do things.
Yeah, but you have to help them. That's why, like I
Yeah.
say, once you kind of help them out, then they'll learn.
Mhm.
Because kids nowadays, of course, especially, they're more smarter than kids from back then,
Yeah.
but they still learn because
Yeah.
they say, oh, we have to pick up our toys, and that's the way, I know mine, that's the way they could play all they wanted to
Yeah.
and put all the toys here and there, but make sure you pick them up.
Mm.
And they would, so that's why it's the responsibility that you have, whether it's your toy. Then you start going into high school, you have a car, maybe a car, you have to have responsible for your car.
Yeah.
you know I mean, they would tell me, how come you're telling them to do housework? I said, no, I don't telling them, I'm just telling them they have to learn,
Mhm.
because I don't know if they're gonna be by themselves, for a long time, or they're gonna get married or what.
Yeah.
So now they know how to do everything. They do everything. But a lot of people say, "Oh no, you don't do that because you're a boy.
Yeah.
You don't do that because you're a boy."
Yeah.
And that's not the way it's supposed to be, because you don't know if the child's going to get married or have to live by himself, or he's going to have to learn to do things for himself.
Mhm.
But I hear a lot
Yeah.
of people say boys don't do that,
Yeah.
and that's not for me.
No, man. I put an apron on me. I'll freaking wash dishes. I'll do the laundry. I'm pretty good at it. I'll
You
start
know.
cooking. Uh,
So that's good for them, because
Yeah.
they know how to do. They know they don't have to wait for nobody to come do it for them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
100%.
And so that's what I think. And you were a boy or a girl, but they would tell me, "Oh, you shouldn't be putting your boy." I don't put him to. I don't really put him. I tell them, you want to help me. You want to learn, because I don't know. With Mama might not make it.
Yeah.
You never know. You
You
never know
never
what can
know.
happen.
Yeah.
So they would know.
And I like what you just said there. Where like, there's a difference between like forcing someone to do something and then like welcoming someone to do something. And I think that's a better approach, is like, hey, I welcome you to do this. Like, you want to try to learn this, you want to learn this, giving you the opportunity to be like, make the decision, for them to make the decision on their own, whereas you force a decision, it's like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to wash dishes, that's not fun.
Like you said, well, you have to come and do it. No, can you help me do this? Can you help? Like, come here and let's do it.
Mhm.
You and I do it like everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a little bit of money, let's share it. I'll give you some, so whatever you need, or you put yours together, and we'll get what you need for school.
Mm.
Okay. Sometimes, yes, I would give them, the money, because that's my responsibility as a parent.
Yeah.
But then they have to learn too that they have to put in something.
Mhm.
So that's the way it is. But nowadays it's very, very different, and that's what I say. I mean, no, I really don't go for that. I'm sorry. You parent is your parents, and you don't tell. I mean, the child doesn't tell the parents. You know what to do. Well, I have to do this. No, just wait and talk about it, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Because I believe that when it'll, if you don't nip that in the butt early, it'll
It
just
just go on, yeah,
it'll
it'll
go
go on
on.
and on and on, and then, and then when you want to catch it or you
It's
want to tell it,
irreversible.
it's not.
Yeah, cause like,
That's
who are you
not.
to tell me this? You
Yeah,
don't
I
tell
mean,
me that.
you never told me that before. How come
Yeah.
you telling me now?
Mhm.
But if slowly, slowly you tell them, like it's like everything else, just trying to, teach them,
Sprinkle.
help them,
Yeah.
don't force it. Like when they start walking, sometimes you don't force them to walk. Let them slowly help them. They'll fall down and you help them, and they'll keep on,
Getting
until they
back
learn
up.
to walk,
Yeah.
But if you're going to force them to walk, "Oh, I want this child to walk because I'm already tired of holding on to him."
Mhm.
I don't know. Well, like I say, everybody's so different.
Very different. And I
Mm.
didn't understand that. Like I really did not understand. Like I heard people were different, but like I'm telling you, like now I'm like, holy shit, people are different. Like they are different,
They're
and it is
different.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And something my supervisor told me today. I love her to death. She told me today. She was like, you can't expect everyone to think like you.
Oh no,
You
no.
know, and that's just a simple thing. Like you, duh. You know, but like really, if you don't tell yourself that every day, and it's like, why don't you do this the way that I want you to do, or why don't you think like that? And it's like, oh, it's because you're different. This is literally it. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing that to understand.
But I say that, like, yeah, well, every child has its own way of thinking. Every
Mm.
child has its own way of feeling.
Yeah.
But then if you get them together, like company, get them together and don't say, "Oh, not you, you, you." No, everybody's the same. Everybody's
Yeah.
the same.
So
So,
and the cool thing is like you had three boys, so it's like there's like it's like a team.
hmm
It's cool as a team. And that's that difference between individual sports and team sports.
well, it was funny because my first one, well, my second one is 5 years. He came 5 years after my first one.
Mhm.
Then my third one came 10 years later.
Oh wow.
So that's a lot of difference, right?
Yeah.
But they're all the same. They all think the same. Like, I mean, they don't think the same, but I mean, here at
Yeah.
home, I'm saying about home.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They know what they like, and
Mhm.
oh, mama doesn't like that, or mama likes this, or
Mhm.
because why? I taught them to be the way. I brought them up like that. So no, thank God. I'm glad. I'm happy for them, and I've heard a lot of. The only thing that gets to me is that parents sometimes say, "Oh, he thinks he's so smart that because he can have everything." Well, aren't you glad that your child is getting ahead? Aren't you glad that he's way up here?
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
And I've,
Yeah.
I've heard parents say, "Oh no, he has well, good. It's good. I'm
Mhm.
happy. I'm proud." And I
Yeah.
tell my kids, you should be proud of yourself to have what you have because you earned it.
Yeah.
You earned it.
Yeah.
So, but I've heard people say that,
Yeah,
parents,
like
not
the
people, but parents.
intelligence, like as it's like this, like, you know, once you and that's what I'm learning too. It's like as I'm getting older, I'm getting more intelligent, and street smart, book smart, same thing. I'm learning both at the same time, and I notice that like as you keep going with more intelligence, like it's almost like like something's like some people look down on it,
Hmm.
like you're stupid for being smart, you know.
No, but that's why I'm happy when I hear my sons are having something, they're doing something good, good, that's good, good, keep
Mhm.
on, keep on, keep on, but I've heard people say, "Oh no, yeah, he thinks he's up here." Well, aren't you glad? Aren't you
Yeah.
glad your son is up here? I mean, like I always tell my youngest son, "You're gonna climb the mountain," and he always tells me that. He remembers that, "Mom, I'm climbing my mountain." I said, "Good, and
Mm.
keep on going." So I'm glad for him, and I'm happy, and tell him, be proud of yourself.
Mhm.
Be proud that you can do what you can do.
Yeah.
Because you also have to give them, something that they have to hold on to. Oh, my mom's telling me I'm doing good. I am doing good.
Mm.
But if you don't tell them, oh no, but, you know, you don't do nothing, you don't do this, you don't, but what can they do if you didn't tell them anything when they were growing
Yeah.
up? You
Oh
didn't
my
give,
God.
you know.
Things are clicking right now. Yeah, and it even just as simple as like, hey, I'm proud of you, or like, hey, I'm you know, you're doing good. Like that what you just said, you're doing good. Like
Mhm.
no, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't say that to even just their friends, you know, like their coworkers. And I even started doing that, you know, giving compliments. Like
Yes.
I went with one of my friends, and she hadn't been to the gym in a long time, and we went there, and I took her through the workout. I showed her everything how to do, whatnot, and later in the day after we left and whatnot, I texted her. I was like, hey, like I'm proud of you, man. Good job on working out today. And she sent me. She was, oh my God, thank you. That was so like those are nice and everything, you know. And it's like it's crazy how just little compliments,
Yes. Mhm.
tiny
Mhm.
tiny. It takes what 2 seconds to say,
Say,
hey, good job, and it
yeah.
makes people's day like from here to here, and it's insane
It's
how
a
that
big jump,
works.
right? Right.
Yeah,
That's what I always tell them. I tell my kids, I said, you should be proud of yourself. Be
yeah,
very proud of yourself because you earned it.
mm,
I didn't earn it for you. I didn't earn it. You earned it, and that's
yeah,
good. And my youngest one, that's like he says, Mom, I'm climbing my mountain like you told me. I said, you will always climb your mountain. Just keep on going and going.
yeah.
So now he can really say he climbs up in the mountains because he flies those Black Hawks from military.
It's crazy.
So, he's interested in all that. So that's good, good. And I'm
Mm,
glad. But, I hear some parents that, they say, no, I love more my son this one because he's. I said, you don't do that. They're all your kids. All of them are your kids. You have to love them all. But I hear that sometimes, and that
favorites is yeah,
hurts.
the
That
favorites, the
hurts
favorite
me.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts me because they're all your sons. God gave them to you, and but it's sad, really sad to say that, you know. And then they wonder why they stay away from them. They wonder why. Oh well,
Oh
that's what
my
I.
God.
That's what I
Yeah.
told them, because they always tell me, "Mom, you need anything? Mom, you want this? Mom?" I said, "No, I'm in heaven with y'all because y'all take care of me because you're here. Did you eat? Did you do this? Did you? They're always here.
I have
Always.
yeah, I
You
have
know.
many fears, and definitely one of those fears is like my kid never wanted to talk to me. You know, like
Mm.
that would be so horrible,
Mm-hmm.
horrible. Like I just wonder how like those parents out there that their kids don't speak to them at all.
Nope.
How
Mm-mm.
devastating that must be for
But
them.
that's because when they were growing up, this well, mostly I say the mother because the mothers, even if you work, you're
Mm.
mostly with them, and this is what you taught. This is what you gave the child to feel.
Mm.
That well, yeah, she's my mom, but I can't get close to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what I tell her. Those little ones, you have to see them now. Now, give them. You say, oh no, they're little. They don't know,
They don't
but
know.
they do know.
They know they analyze every little freaking thing. They remember. It's so crazy how they remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
And those little I see this. Oh, now my life is in this
Mm.
projector. And even as you grow up, but it's just so crazy how like in your
Little
young
babies, little
baby and
babies.
the
Mm-hmm.
everything, they see everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're analyzing every little tiny thing, and it's so
They might
crazy.
not express themselves like they wish. You know what I
Well,
mean?
because they
Like,
don't know how to
but
speak.
they
Yeah.
remember.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Absolutely.
And that's what I say. That's the way I say that. When something like that happens, is because their mind goes back
Yeah.
to when they were little.
Mhm.
That's what I say. You have to see them. Give them their love, give them time, give them attention when
Mhm.
they're growing up, because it comes in them, and they go and they go and they go. But they can't express themselves because they're little.
Mhm.
But it's in their mind. They
Yeah.
know. It's like a computer now, right?
Yeah.
So but
Oh yeah, it's
don't say
insane.
now. Don't say, oh no, because this. No, 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 no.
And
So
I see like my little sister, and I see them. They're like they're on their tablets, they're on their phones, and they're like that. They're watching these like incredible pictures. And, you're seeing there might be little videos of people playing with Play-Doh and whatnot, but like. I mean, I'll see my sister. She watches these little videos, these little girls that just like destroy everything,
yeah,
and I'm like, you're programming this little girl to think it's okay to destroy everything. It's a crazy thing what technology is doing and
oh
to the
yeah.
youth. Like
Hmm.
it's insane because like all those are movies, videos. It's way more abundant now, and it's so crazy how like those things are just like boom, program. And I noticed like a lot of these parents are just like, I don't want to hear you talk, I don't want to hear you scream, I don't want to hear you cry. Here's the phone, shut up.
Yes.
Right?
And yet they don't want to give the time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. The time, even just a little bit of time,
Mm.
it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Dice, ay, ya, déjalo, ay, que se vaya.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Can't do that.
No, no, no. So that's what I mean. Like growing up is something very important. Growing up and giving them, the time,
Mm-hmm.
and nowadays, and a long time ago, a lot of women didn't have to work, but now every woman has to work.
Mm.
But still, they give the time,
Yeah.
and I think that's the most beautiful thing that a woman can do, a mother can do. Give them a little time, not buy them everything they want, and then just don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you mean you don't have time? Like you're, and it, I'm not, I'm, we're, it's, I'm not, I don't mean to get dark, but like you're gonna die one day.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna die one day, and you have no time on this planet. Like you really don't have much time on this planet, and it's crazy that like how do you refuse to give somebody
Time.
5 seconds, 5 seconds to say do this or do that, like in a calming and respectful and in a welcoming way. Whereas like if you do it in a mean, forceful way, it's like there's no reason to do that.
They tell them, oh, go over there to your room, or go over there because right now I'm busy. Right? I'm busy. I'll talk to you later. And then they forget to talk to them later.
Yeah.
So, that's why we have to talk to them, and then tell them, como digo, that little time. The little bit of time goes that far, you know. But then, of course, some parents don't think it is that way, especially like you say nowadays. They're so busy, they give them the tablet and phone. Little babies, I seen them on wherever I go to the doctor, wherever. Here,
And they're
and they're right there hooked onto the,
hooked.
and ya está muy bien. Or she's talking on the phone with somebody else, but she doesn't have the time to look at the kid.
Yep.
That's what they do.
It's crazy.
No, 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 no. So, no. It's hard. I know it's hard. It's now so hard. I mean, nowadays it's so different with kids growing up,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that the thing is to really, it's still there, like I say, to learn how to respect
Mm-hmm.
and to talk to them, give them a little time, whatever little time you have, whatever, give them a little. Even now, I like to make them what they like. I like to make them their food that they used to like,
Mm.
because to me, it's something special.
Yeah.
To me, something. They say, "Oh, Ma, don't take the time to." Oh, yes, yes, that's what I want. I want to give you, a little bit of what I've always done.
Yeah.
You know. But nowadays they say, "Oh no, here, go get your hamburger and that's it."
Mm.
What? They do that. But okay, well, but I don't know. That's what I mean. I mean, there's a lot of parents have kids, not one or two or three. They have 4 or 5 kids, and they say they don't have time for them. But they do. They have to have time for them because that's their obligation as a mother.
Yeah.
As a mother, and but no, everybody's different. Everybody thinks different.
Yeah.
Like you say, yeah, we're all different. I mean, like me, I'm different from my brothers, my sisters, especially my sisters. I think
Yeah.
I'm very different.
Incredibly,
I
incredibly
mean,
different.
I know I feel
Yeah.
sorry, but I said, no, I don't want to be like that. No, I don't
Yeah.
want to.
And it's a choice. Like it's a choice. You have a choice to do things.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy how like every day there's, do I want to wear this? Do I wear that? Am I gonna take this road? Am I gonna take that road?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you have a choice to give time here. You have the choice to try to remember if you're gonna give time later on.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like me, I'm old already. I don't know when God's gonna say, okay, now you have to really be in bed, or now you can't really walk, or I don't know. But while I can, I want to do the best for me, and I wanna, do the best for the ones that I love. I wanna be there for the ones I love, that are
Yeah.
ones that I've known that given me love too.
Yeah.
Me, because it works both ways. If
Definitely.
you don't give love to that person or to the child,
How do you expect to receive some
right,
or respect as
right, as
well?
well.
And it's and a lot of people, you know, you get in that mode of like take
Mm-hmm.
without giving, you know, and then you're like, why is nothing given to me? Because like you're being selfish in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, I have always told this person, I said, you need to do things for yourself. Don't expect people to give you everything in your hand.
Yeah.
And that was years ago. And I told this person, you need to learn to do things for yourself.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, I know you can go to work, but there's other things you can do.
Yeah.
You know.
And in that becomes of that like um and that entitlement, you know, it progresses and it's like, why is this always happening to me? You know, why am I always getting punished for something like that? And it's like, it's really not. Everybody's kind of going through shit.
But it's like I tell them, God says, help yourself, and I'll help you.
Mm.
Okay, if I'm sick and I wanna get better, I have to help myself because God is gonna help me to get better.
Mm.
But I have to help myself. So that's what I told this person for years. I said, don't wait for people to give you. I mean, you have to do things for yourself.
Mm.
Work, just do what you can do.
Yeah.
You
Tend
know,
to your own garden.
yeah, it's like me. Like I tell them, I said, don't worry about me. Yeah, you worry because I'm your mom,
Mm-hmm.
because you love me, but I can manage. I'll have to.
Yeah.
I'll have to look for help. And like I am, I've been trying to, do the best I can of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't stay there.
Yeah.
It's like same thing like when you're growing up. I mean, you can't stay there. You got to go to work. Learn to go to work. That's the same thing with me. Now I have to learn, maybe not to go to work, but
Yeah.
to get ahead. To go the right way.
Get up and move.
Okay, the right
Yeah.
way, and so there's a lot of ways, but you have to help yourself before God helps you.
Mm.
Because God's always going to be there for you. But yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I've had all this and this and this and that." Well, yeah, but sometimes you can, how do you say the word? Them not to happen. Sometimes we bring things because we want to do it. We bring our things for ourselves because you don't say, "No, I don't want that. I don't want this to happen." Okay. Just like me when I went to work, I said, I need to go to work now.
Mm.
Not, like right now, I would be crying. What am I going to do here?
Yeah.
Well, no, you have a lot of things. You have people up there help you. You get help, but do your own thing. Do your own thing. Try to do, I mean, something for yourself.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't do things like I used to do, but I still do them. I make a cake. I like to make cookies. The other day I make cookies and get myself, to do.
No, I get you.
In way years back, not now. Like I say, it's not that because I am afraid something's gonna happen and then I can do it. Like years back, I used to make plates and get myself doing plates, and get my friends. Oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna go get a plate from you, and then
It's a fun thing.
yeah,
And I think what it is that makes it so, it's the community.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be like 5 4 people, but it's like it's that tribe, that community,
Yeah.
that it's a cool thing.
And even some people would say, well, you want me to go help you? I can go help you. I said, well, okay, well, you want to come help me? That's okay, So,
on.
Yeah, I had, and if you do that, somebody would come. You do that because you really need the money. I said, not, it's not the money. It's just trying to do something, something that I can do.
Yeah.
That's why, just like tamales. I would always make like 200 dozen of tamales.
That's insane how you do that.
Yeah,
That is
make
so
tamales.
crazy.
Of course, Tio Paul would help me.
Yeah.
We would sit there and make tamales. And that big freezer over there, I pile it up with tamales. And then, okay, when you want them? And so I want them such day. Okay, how many? So I had them ready.
Yeah.
And then they would tell me again, is it because you need the money? I said, well, the money doesn't hurt me,
No.
but it's not really the money. It's something that I want to do,
Yeah.
So that's what I say. You have to do something. You have to look forward to doing something.
It's like you're helping someone and you're helping yourself at the same time. Yeah.
But it's morely because it's joyful. You do it with joy. You do it. You're happy. You know.
Yeah.
Now I want to do it, but it's a big responsibility. And I'm the type that I don't like to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then I don't do it. No, I don't like to do that.
Yeah. It makes me feel gross. It makes
Mm.
me feel really gross when that happens. Like,
Mm.
oh, I didn't do it. Like,
I mean, you know, that's what I tell some people. Okay, if I think I can do it, I'll do it. But, you know, I can't do it now. I don't want to have that to say,
yeah.
I will. I didn't do it. I didn't do it for you. No,
Yeah.
no. If I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'll try to do it. But now I know that, you know, I can't. You know, my hands, my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You know, that I know that I can't really do it, so I don't get involved in it. But I had a very, very, very good years in doing it. You know, that was something that I was worked for.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes because sometimes you might need the money, and of course, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know, to do it because nowadays that's what they do. People make plates for this and plates play there. Yeah, it's good, but it was mostly because I wanted to do it. I wanted to be happy doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was, you know. But then, of course, I'm not gonna say no. The money didn't help me. Yes, I did a lot of work too.
Yeah.
I put in a lot of work too. You know?
You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the
But
work.
it's like everything, you know. You work for what you get.
Yeah.
So that's something that. But I see people they don't want to do nothing for themselves. They don't want to. Yeah, no, I'm too tired. No, Oh my God.
The excuses.
Yeah.
Excuses.
But that doesn't help you. That
Yeah.
doesn't help you.
No,
You
it
know?
doesn't help at all.
So, you know, and friends, of course, having friends is something very important to me. I don't know about other people, but to me is because having friends from a long time, from you're talking about the 80s, you know, and maybe even before the 80s. I have a friend that I had lost contact with her.
Yeah.
And I had always wondered what happened to her. I wonder what happened to her. Well, one day, I would say maybe 7, 8 months ago, I got a letter and it said her name. And I go, what? Her name? So she said, call me. So I called her right away. I said, oh my God, it's been years. So I called her and she says, yes, it's me. I said, oh my God, it's been over 20 years.
Wow.
I had lost her. I said, where you been? I've been trying to get a hold of you, trying to find what happened to you. She said, no, well, I moved to Oklahoma and I left San Antonio. And I said, but you know what? It was something very, very like this happened. I was cleaning the shelf and the book fell. And when the book fell, that was your address right there. So right away,
Isn't that incredible?
yes, that's what she said. It was something like, oh my God. I was cleaning the bookshelf and the book fell. I said,
Yeah.
you must have put it in there and you never remember. But 20 years?
Yeah.
You're talking about 20 years.
20 years, and that's just like out of, like, why? There's no reason. No
Yeah.
reason until.
Because she knew more or less that I lived here, you
Yeah.
know. So anyway, I said, okay, well, I'm going to forgive you. I said, I'm going to forgive you, but I am so happy that, oh, and by the way, my husband knew her, of course, knowing her for so long. And she said, oh, I hope you find your friend. I hope you find her because she was a nice friend. So I said, well, I'm still looking. I don't know where to find her. I don't know how I would get in touch with her. There's nobody else that I know that can get in touch with her. But that happened, right? That happened. And then this happened right before Theobald passed away. He was happy that I had found her back. So now we keep in contact every day. Yeah, she calls
That's
me.
how I feel about my friend. He's out in Michigan, and like I at one point I had got COVID, and like literally we'd spend like, cause we had like, you know, our PlayStation went on like every day. We're like, are you ready to get on? We're like, all right, let's get on. You know, and like we would. It was crazy because like you go so long, you go months, years without talking to somebody, and then you talk to them, and it's like you never stop talking to them. It's like that time just comes together, and it's like you just continue on from where you left off.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Make friends, and I don't know. Any of my friends, hit me up, bro.
And then she told me, because her birthday's on the same birthday.
Yeah.
Her birthday's on the same birthday, but different years. And she goes, well, I'm 80 already. I said, well, 80? Well, I'm just right behind you. And she
80.
said, yeah, because she's 80. I'm 77. So I told her, I'm right behind you. And she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! I can't believe it that we got back together." So I went over to her apartment. She lives in a senior apartment, so
Mm.
I went over there and we went for breakfast and we talked. And so now every day, in the morning, she said, "How are you doing this morning?" Oh, fine. That's what I say. Just to say, "How are you?" It's a
Mm.
big difference. How are you? Not a, I mean, how much does it take you to say how are you? But of course, a lot of people don't. I guess they don't. They don't believe in
How
the
are
word,
you? It's hard for
you
some
know.
people. It really is.
So at night, well, not at night, like about 6 o'clock, cause she goes to bed early.
Mm.
She said, "What time you go to bed?" I said, "Well, I don't go to bed early, but I do go to bed like maybe 11, 11:30, 12 for sure."
Mm.
Oh, no, no, no. You're by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So yes, she goes to bed. But she gets up real early.
Mm-hmm.
So by 6 o'clock, 5:30 or 6, she said, "Okay, well, what are you doing? I did this, I did that." But in the mornings, she'll text me about 9, 9:30. I'm already up. Well, I know she's up because she gets up early. And, so we tell each other what we did,
Mm-hmm.
what we do. And so,
It's just good to talk to somebody too. Like
but
it's very
But
important.
that's every day. She's like everyday friend. But I have other friends that I talk on the phone and
Mm-hmm.
they call me and we talk. Especially ladies from work.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, we gotta go see you, Maria." Well, they did go. They were at the funeral,
Mm.
but we still gotta go and take you out and
Yeah.
get together for like we used to go.
No, I
So
get
that's
you.
good. That you have friends that still. I cannot see somebody not having at least one friend. I
Yeah.
cannot see that.
You have to have one
You
friend.
have to have at least one friend you can talk to. And there's a hard times, there's a hard times that you need to talk to somebody.
Mm.
And there's times when you want to laugh, and there's times when well,
Just need to get stuff off your chest and stuff like
everything.
that. It's just
Or it's like I'm the type of person that I need somebody to tell me, yes, you are right, or no, you're not right.
mm.
My friend from she lives in one army,
Yeah.
so she comes and we have breakfast together también. And I ask her, "Okay, well, do you think I'm right or you think I'm wrong?" And I tell her what it is, and she, "Oh
Mm.
no, you're not." I don't know why you're always thinking that. I said, "Because I gotta get it out of my system, out of my
Yeah.
mind, because I might think one thing and maybe it's not right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we can't always be right, but I don't want to be wrong either.
No, I get you.
I want to be at least a little bit right." And so
Yeah.
that's why you have to have a friend, a close friend, where you can say, "Tell me if I'm right or wrong." But that's the way I am.
And then be open up to that criticism because like you know it's hard to tell somebody like, hey, you're doing this wrong. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm not doing that wrong. Like, yeah, you're doing this wrong, bro. You know. What do you? We're probably gonna have to wrap it up here soon because we're running out of time. But I was gonna say, what is your advice to anyone?
My advice to my advice, well, the only thing I can say is love that person, talk to that person,
Mm.
very, of course, respect that person, and of course, tell her or tell him. Well, I'm talking because I'm a woman, right? And so, respect her very well,
Yeah.
and talk to her, and love her, and try to get together and enjoy life. You know, talk about the kids if they have kids. Talk about family, because family is the most important thing. I grew up far away from my family, very, very hard. But then, of course, it wasn't my choice. I couldn't say I don't want to go there. I don't want to live there. 11 months old. It was like, okay, you don't know nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I was raised over here, and it was very hard for me in a way. But now I have a few like you all that always been there. I saw y'all growing up, and to me, you're my love. I love y'all, and that's one thing I don't think I'll ever stop loving you until my time comes.
Well, I love you too, Grandma.
But it's that you need to tell them, you need to let them know, that you're there. You might not have some things, but you're there.
Yeah.
You're there. I mean, no matter how you're there. And that's one thing that, like I say, it's been very rough for me, all these years and years and years growing up. And like I say, yeah, I was by myself for the longest time, but
Mm-hmm.
I started growing up, going to school, And I always like to have friends. I like friends,
Have friends and love people.
and then, like I say, love your family. The ones that love you, because there's sometimes there's some that don't really care for you,
Yeah, but you still gotta love them.
But
Yeah.
what can we do? Just pray for them
Yeah.
and pray for the best for them and their families too, because I'm sure they have families that they need their love, you know. But love is the one that makes everything, you know. That's what I say.
That's good. I like that. That's a good way to end the podcast. Love it. Love it. I love you, Grandma. I really
Yes.
appreciate you doing this,
Oh no.
and we'll do this again sometime.
Oh sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I really liked it. I enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
I'm happy. And like I said, I'll always love you, and I'm always here. I'll always be here for y'all.
That's nice.
Whatever I can do. I'm not young.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
get
not
you.
young, but I can do whatever I can do.
Yeah.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. All right, everybody.
Okay, bye bye.
That's cool. That's
That's
cool.
nice. Yeah.
What do you think about it?
That's great.
Yeah, it's fun, huh?
I never had to have anything like that.